Nana Kwame Bedia who Cheddar. And okoye interview ewo 83 and na wodi nkomo about industrialization and cover to me so no on the concept or the policy of a 24-hour economy or whatever that it is no on also gonjindi on krampo no one say party bimpo the 24-hour economy bimpo na campaign because on one just had in India because 24-hour economy without say economy no stable na kasa the 24-hour economy no so fast on NSA and no kasa no the 24-hour economy the and he won't believe in it but he believed in 24-hour shifts 24 hours shift so we shift not the whole economy no in 24 hours ahe ye pese ekosua hwan ye nana Kwame Bedia ko Cheddar ensema
refine it. So I don't want that. I want to be able to introduce industrialization and let our children, let the nation, our country learn how to turn the bauxite material to alumina and then from there to aluminium. Okay. This process, 1, 2, 3, can create 100,000 jobs in one plant or two plants. And I'll tell you why. Because this plant, they are robots. They work 24 hours. Meaning that people will start working 8-hour shifts. So you agree to the 24-hour I don't agree policy? I don't agree to any 24-hour policy. I agree to a 24-hour shift if you have industrial power. Okay. I don't know any 24-hour policy you're talking about, but what I'm saying... What I'm talking about, I'm referencing what former President John Dramani Mahama said. What did he say? How do you understand what he said? Well, he says that we're going to ensure that the economy runs 24 hours. And so how did you understand that? You are saying that means that, I mean, just like we have in New York and the other places, yes, we're going to have businesses run 24 hours. So you don't have to wait till morning before you can go and even apply for a passport. How are you going to let... That is what you are saying something and you're trying to refer me to him. But I'm saying that if somebody says something, they have to have an explanation. Okay. How that 24-hour is going to... I'm giving you how 24-hour shift work is going to happen. It happens through industrialization because it's a machine that is working 24 hours. If he said that, it's different. He did not say that. So I'm not referring to what he's saying. Okay. And I think that you have understood what he's saying without knowing how it's going to be done. No, you can't judge just because you're because I thought that's what you were saying. No, I was just asking so you're taking your words back. No, I'm not taking it back. I'm just asking you that, are you referencing what the former president had also said? I wouldn't be here saying what I don't know. Okay. I'm only talking about what I understand. You know, and what I know is best in terms of industrialization, because if people work from 8 to 6 and there's another person coming to take over the shift from 8 to 12 and 12 to 8 and it's going on and on. For me, my interest is the 3 ways of creating jobs. Okay. And so if the workers are 10,000 by 8 to 6, you have another 10,000 coming in after and after. So instead of creating 10,000 jobs, now is 30,000 jobs. Okay. And I think this happens everywhere in the world that is well developed. You know, they have their industrial areas and, you know, they create a lot of things and they sell to the world. Okay. Let's go back to the issue about, you know, dredging the sea into the other river bodies. Now, I'm monitoring some comments and there's one who's saying that, but some of these water bodies serve as, you know, drinking water for some communities, etc. Now, if you're trying to connect the sea to some of these bodies, of course, we know that the issue of salination also comes up. Absolutely. And that affects the livelihood of the animals that also drink from these water bodies. Okay, so can you explain that then? Because, first of all, what canals do a lot of things. There's irrigation system that comes out of it, so it helps farming. Okay, there is purification system that can come out of it, so it helps the nation. Because once you industrialize the connection, then you can do a lot of things with it. It's like industrializing cocoa and then making sure that the manufacturing processes become 3 or 4. We're going to find what to do with the waste of it, you know, and do different things with it. So it's the same thing that is going to happen with our water bodies when it's connected, because at the moment we are throwing things into it. It's deserted, it's left. It's not being used, it's not being run. People are not sailing through it. People are not driving through it. You know, it's like a road. If there are potholes and the road is busy, you have to fix it. You have to cover the potholes because the road is busy. It's the same thing with water. Once they start to use it, they service it. Okay, and I think we are running from industrialization as a country. We are running from it. This is the only thing that will save our economy. Once we connect this, I mean, look at the difference that it will make. If PRA and OT is connected, and then some sea from Second D is pushing the water towards Kumasi, and now Kumasi can have a vessel with 100 containers if they have to deliver something.
Can we see the map again?
Yeah.
Just so we have a better understanding for those of you who have just tuned in. So if you look at Kumasi, I mean, the water bodies, it goes all the way to Afram. But that means you're going to have to bring it somehow into Kumasi itself, which is what you had mentioned earlier,
It's
right?
just connecting the waters. Look, my point is very simple, Bella. We have all these water bodies in this country. Not one of them have we connected. There is no water transportation in this country. I can give you a perfect example in Ada. The water is meeting the sea right in your face. Now, this water goes maybe 100 kilometers further. If there was any port right there in between the water and the sea, you have a huge power of transportation. That is, if that on that water lane, there is gold, there is oil, you can now start transporting it. But what it has become, it's become a residential use. You know, so there's no commercial or there's no industrial use for it. You know, there could be fishes, that could be our fishing area. So we don't import fishes anymore because now we industrialize the water. And there are a lot of things going on. But today, you will see a few houses along the way and people just maybe cruising 1 or 2 boats on there. But I'm just saying that it meets the water. So there are lots of rivers in Ghana that is meeting.
But it's going to pass through land. And that means having to break down some buildings? Because if you look at Kumasi,
there could be settlement. There is nothing wrong with regentrification. Gentrification is a must when you are developing a country. You need to regentrify some things. I mean, you're looking at a place like Nima in Accra. There is billions of dollars of development if we have to do a resettlement for them. That is by building a new community for the people in Nima and slowly developing that space in phases. You know, they do it in England, they do it in America. You go to somewhere like Hackney and then you come back 8 years, they've done the Olympics in that area, they've developed the place. One apartment is now 300,000 when the apartment used to be 50,000, you know. So definitely there will be settlement, you know, and it is very possible because it could be settlement for just like maybe 10 people, but the development would benefit millions of people.
Have we put a cost to this?
I wouldn't really want to talk about numbers because when you're not ready, it's like you have a vision, you know, you need action. If you don't have the action, then the vision is a mere
So you're not ready at the moment?
I don't even...
What I mean at the moment is, I mean, before you announce something like this, you'd expect that maybe there's a plan?
Oh,
feasibility studies have been conducted, so there's some
I know
document
what to do to do it. But I'm saying that it would take me to be empowered to do so. I cannot go to a country and start connecting the water.
But even before you make some promises, for example, you know, let's say free SHS, for example, before the president may have announced it, maybe he had a feasibility studies conducted, which is why we're asking, because at this point you should be able to tell us that looking at how to connect these river bodies to the sea, etc., it might cost us ABC.
It's not a promise, my dear. It's a purpose. It's a vision. I am saying that it is possible. I can do it by bringing the right professionals that understand dredging, mapping, you know, defensing, you know, because you need to create sea defenses, a lot of things. And then let the water flow. Then after that, you need to now create the coastal or the water transportation. That's another whole thing. So it's a process of things. It's not a project that would be a one-year project.
Of course.
You know, once I'm able to do 1 and 2, the other leaders would see that it has changed the economy and it's brought speed into our logistical path, and everybody will be interested to do so. For example, I mean, when you look on the map, you will see Volta Lake. It's a man-made lake, and it's one of the biggest. I mean, in fact, it's so big in the country. What are they using it for? People are just doing, you know, little fishing stuff in there. You know, we haven't connected the lake to anything. Look at it. It's connected to a farm. You know, it can go all the way. See how close it is to Kumasi. You know, so there are things that can happen in Kumasi, and we can transport it on the water to Volta, to Koforidua, to a lot of places.
So we're still waiting for the feasibility studies, because again, when it comes to Ghanaians,
I don't need to show Ghanaians feasibility studies when they cannot do anything about it. Okay, first of all, Ghanaians have money, but they might not know how to use it. They only borrow money to pay debts and to do roads, to create contracts. Okay, money needs to be invested, and there has to be returns. And so I believe that the government is supposed to have some kind of partnership with the private sector and not turn the private sector to contractors, because the private sectors in this country are contractors.
But they're the ones who need a study, which is why I'm asking
Sorry,
for it.
who
So the
need a
feasibility
study?
study that I'm talking about is not for every Ghanaian necessarily.
Who would need a study?
Of course, the stakeholders who are supposed to conduct this exercise. So let's say the contractors in the country, of course, you would want their buy-in on this. You cannot on your own as a president decide that you're going to
That is not what I'm saying. Look, if we as a nation believe that we have to fix our road, we don't need going to ask people permission that study the feasibility of this before I do the road. Okay, the cost of a road, when you bring foreigners to do it, is $1 million a kilometer.
Yeah.
That is the price. It's the same thing when you're building a house.
Yeah.
It's $200 or $500 per square meter. When you're dredging, it's going to come with the price. It could be 5,000, it could be 10,000 per a linear meter, whatever it is. And then you have to see that, okay, I'm going to go at 148 kilometers or 200 kilometers and this and see the fence. So all of these things will come from like the design of it, the engineering of it. That's how you get the costing. But the idea now is there, and I want Ghanaians to understand that it is feasible. It's possible. It can happen, and it's happening in a lot of countries, and they're benefiting from it. Apart from everything I've said, with irrigation, with industrialization, with purification, all the shins, you also have tourism. Where people will be sailing on your water, and they're going to see parts of Ghana that you and I have never seen. Good, beautiful landscaping and all of that that we have deserted for a long time. So there are a lot of great opportunities with such an idea. And it just, the media also sometimes, you know, they like a headline that would be so controversial and, you know, it's like, you know, get people to bash you a little bit. It's nice.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think so far what has gone around is what you have said, which is why we're also now borrowing into it. But in terms of priority, would you say this is priority? I've listened to Ghanaians say that we lack adequate hospitals. Our hospitals are not even equipped to global standards. Our education is also in shambles. We have students who are learning under trees. Jobs, which you have said already, that's also another major problem. Our roads are bad. We're even grappling with developing our railway system. So these are things that are low-hanging fruits that we should tackle before even coming up with ideas such as this. So for you, what is your priority?
Well, first of all, my priority is industrialization. You see, I don't see why you're going to build a hospital first without thinking of the factories that will give the people the jobs, that will give them the